Do you have a smooth package?
Adam?
It's one of the great things that you can get at manscaped.com and use the promo code DANGLE.
You see,
20% off, free shipping, promo code DANGLE, manscaped.com/dangle. The smooth package.
that is a smooth package.
Or in English Canada, it's package. Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
SDPP. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
I know what you're thinking. I think you're thinking that today is going to be fun. Because it's a Friday. And because the Leafs lost, and that's always hilarious when Steve sees a team that should win, not win. But today is going to be serious.
Yeah?
Because the greatest team on earth that has ever existed, the greatest franchise, has just won their 11th straight game. I think there's nothing funny about it.
You know,
I think it's pretty serious.
on my way down here, I was just like, oh boy, this is going to be a long episode. Because they're always long when the Devils beat the Leafs. Because then I got to listen to Adam drone on about his favorite team all
My
day.
favorite team, the Devils.
The New Jersey Devils.
And I had to wear my Devils costume.
You did, yeah, you're cosplaying as a Devils player.
I'm not cosplaying as I am a Devils fan.
When did we all just start not caring about what that word means?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, this is my whatever cosplay. No, that's your costume.
No, it's
That is your
cosplay.
costume.
I am a Devils fan.
Sorry.
This is not a costume, it's a religion. And in fact, to properly discuss the Devils today,
No, it is.
gentlemen,
Oh my God!
Oh,
what
no.
we need to talk about the New Jersey flipping
What?
Oh my God! Where did you get that?
I got it on the New Jersey Devils website. Normally I'm a medium, it came in a little small. This is from the Aaron Andrews collection. If we're going to have a serious discussion about the Devils, we're going to be serious today.
I don't know.
These are my pajamas, folks.
Adam, oh boy, you better watch your man spreading today.
What do you think?
You better.
What do you like?
What do I think? I think we're gonna get demonetized.
like
Jesus Lord, no,
like it?
no, get away from my coffee.
You like it?
Absolutely not.
You know?
Here,
Haven't
get
used
that.
Manscaped
You
lately.
dropped that Manscaped. Can you get that off the floor?
You want to smile?
Yeah,
get up.
Take
Get
a
up.
picture.
There you go.
Yeah, might as well get
you
kicked
go.
off Twitter.
So listen,
Well,
I didn't show off these gams and this ripped stomach for nothing. 11 straight wins deserve some skin. By the way,
11 wins to match every ab.
This is actually Aaron Andrews' New Jersey Devils collection. I want you to know that.
You're serious?
I'm serious. Aaron Andrews has a New Jersey Devils
Like
collection.
the reporter?
Yeah.
The ESPN,
Yeah.
or she's not on ESPN.
Yeah.
Fox reporter, I think.
Yeah, she used to be on ESPN. Now I believe on Fox.
Right.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Why? I'm extremely
No
comfortable.
reason.
I feel really good.
I bet you are.
I feel great. Now, can you describe for anybody that might be listening, because we didn't really do that. I have New Jersey Devils pajamas on, but can you please describe for them one more time
This is so unexpected.
what exactly I'm wearing? Can you
Adam,
just lay it out for them?
Adam is wearing his "You Up" outfit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like whenever you get that "You Up" text from Natalie, you show up in this outfit.
11 straight wins. I'm up.
No, he's up.
I'm saying.
For anybody who listens to the podcast, just go look at Adam for half a second.
Here, wait. What if they didn't?
No. I think you should. This is what 11 straight wins looks like. This is it.
Piss
You're
excellence.
living 11 straight wins.
Go to
Right.
at SDPN Sports on Instagram. We're going to post it there. Don't go to us on Twitter because Twitter's dying. YouTube.com/SDPN. It's a must see. He's wearing the pajama outfit. It's not good.
Do you want to know?
It's not good.
Do you want to know when I actually, seriously though, because this is a serious discussion. Do you want to know when I seriously knew the Devils were going to win last night?
When, Adam?
When they won the face-off in overtime.
Yep, that's all it
Because-
takes to beat the Leafs in 3-on-3.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about the Toronto Maple Leafs and not being able to retrieve a puck with three men on the ice, because oftentimes, now the Devils are a little bit different because they do have some real talent.
Yeah.
But if you were to look at it on a piece of paper or use an NHL 23 rating, the Leafs have the better players on the ice better than most teams in a 3-on-3 situation.
most.
So how come when the Devils went out there and won the faceoff, the Leafs didn't touch the puck until it was in the back of their net?
Well, that's not true. John Tavares touched it and then gave it right back.
That's right.
Yeah.
To who?
Was it
That's right.
Jesper Bratt?
No, it's Jack Hughes. That's right.
Oh, it was Jack
that's right.
Hughes.
The guy you want to give it to. Well, Brad actually is probably the
I'm trying
the
to
worst
remember
guy,
who
but
was on the. It was Sharon Govich who scored.
Sharon Govich
he
got
scored
it
the goal.
poke checked,
and
then-
Hughes got it right back after giving it up. It was a ridiculous pass, and JT should have never made it.
Yeah, he also. I agree that he should have never made it because you are not eligible to play the puck from the bench. Why? Why? You have the reigning MVP and you have John Tavares, who is. He's scored in overtime. He's not a bad 3-on-3 player, but you got to look at the players the Devils have on the ice. They're burners.
They got wheels. And Tavares, the one thing even coming out of junior was the skating.
He's not very fast.
He's not fleet of foot.
He's not very fast. So what the Leafs did was they took, listen, their 3-on-3 that they always go with is Riley, Marner, Matthews. Should work great, super doesn't. And they looked at that and they said, we need to change up the mix. Let's make it worse. So
Yeah.
Then what did they do?
they went with Tavares, who's not as fast as Matthews or good. Like, he's having a better season, I would say.
But he's not skilled wise as good as Matthews. And he's very good.
He's not. I like Tavares at 5-on-5.
Right.
Tavares at 5-on-5 is worth the price of admission. But there's way more ice here. John Tavares would not be as successful on the big ice, like in Europe,
Right.
for example. He underratedly digs in the corners. He wins puck battles.
In front of the net.
Yeah. But like, that was a penalty kill. That was like an even strength penalty kill.
And two things. One, Jeff O'Neill's thing about just start fucking Matthews. Like, just
Yeah, what is
start-
the
How
deal?
are we still having this conversation?
O-Dog's 100% right about that. And then two, if Keefe was asked this directly, he
Yeah.
asked this question, he gave an answer, and you explained in the LFR, and his answer is kind of garbage. Can you talk about what he said?
Do I still have it on my phone? Let me try to find it. Because yeah, dude, it sucks ass. Keefe said we got to stop beating ourselves. Then he said, Keefe says he went to Tavares to start overtime in part because Tavares didn't get a chance to see the ice in the Leafs last overtime. Calls it a feel thing. Sheldon, that fucking sucks. What are you talking about? Sorry, most expensive and largest analytics department in the sport. Like, what the fuck is that? It seems fairly obvious. Start with Matthews. The conversation should always start with Matthews. Marner and Riley aren't working. So what do? Naturally, you switch out Matthews. No! You switch out one or both of those two. Start with Liljegren or Hall or Sandin or whatever. And then you can keep Mitch out there or you can make it Willie.
I mean, if you're going to do somebody based on feel, Willie, who scored the tie-up goal, which was a great goal, that's the guy I'm like, well, he's rolling. I'll put him out there. Like, if you want to put Matthews and Willie out there, I don't think anybody's going to be upset. And then you have Marner, Tavares, and Marner maybe offsets the lack of Tavares' speed. And maybe that's what Sheldon Keefe was thinking. But you start with the best.
Yeah, and it's
start
not like
with your best center.
It's not like Willie's perfect either. He gave it away to Carlson to lose the overtime in San Jose.
He is perfect. How dare you?
I know. Well, the Leafs are 1-4 in overtime, and that's bad. Who got their one goal? Nick Robertson, who was in the fucking press box. And it should have been 0-5 because he stopped a 2-on-1 going the other way.
The one game they won, they really should have lost that OT game.
And they didn't because of?
Nick Robertson.
Thank you.
Who's not playing.
Who's not playing, and it doesn't look like he's going to play tomorrow either. He's in regular grays, according to Mark Masters, I saw on Twitter just before we started this. What are we doing?
Well, and the funny part about that, and we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Was that
every time I look at Adam, I'm like,
I don't know.
It takes me right out of we're not talking about anything serious.
As I said, if you're a listener, go on our TikTok or Instagram.
Is it fair of me to have this
Adam
computer in front of me? I don't want it to block what's going on.
You look like your shorts should have a Devil's logo, and on the back it should say "Juicy."
Well, it does.
The shirt
looks it.
The shirt is what I'm for. It just needs to go a little longer.
No, I have a crop top body. Okay.
I'm just imagining Adam leaning on his door frame and saying to Natalie, "Merry Christmas."
You know, Let's not act like this. This is maybe not the first wear these guys got. Okay.
Hey,
no.
Just saying.
Hey, what a lucky lady.
Yeah.
I can see why she put a ring on it.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, if she got all this forever, like, imagine signing up for that.
Yeah. I get it.
Forever or until she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Sorry.
It happened one time.
It did. It can always happen again. Listen, I do want to discuss Nick Robertson. Guys, can we please be serious? Okay? Enough. Be serious. Both of you. You're silly. Both of you. Nick Robertson. The reason he didn't get in the lineup, according to reports yesterday, because reporters actually did ask him, they've been listening to the show, obviously, is that Sheldon Keefe wanted to get Pontus Holmberg in for like a regular run if he was going to be up.
Doesn't answer the question. That's a bad faith answer to the question, Sheldon.
Tell me why.
Because Pontus Holmberg getting into the lineup has nothing to do with Nick Robertson being a healthy scratch. Nick Robertson should never be a healthy scratch. The only situation where it makes some sense is if he's up on the team, you decide he shouldn't be going tonight, and you're on a Western road trip. Otherwise, send him down to the Marlies and have him play. Do what you did with, what's his name? Oh, Pontus Holmberg, where you had him play a game. He wasn't going to get in the lineup, so you sent him down. He played a little bit, and he came back up, and look at this. He's playing well. This is nothing to do with Pontus Holmberg. I like him. I like him. I want him to be in the lineup. And this isn't even me arguing that Robertson should be in the lineup. It's that he should be playing hockey games. Part of the reason this guy isn't a full-time NHLer right now is the lack of hockey games. He was a goal-a-game player in the Ontario Hockey League, shut down because of COVID. There was no Ontario Hockey League, so he's playing in the American Hockey League, younger than he's supposed to be able to. Gets injured, can't play hockey games. Next season, comes up, he does come see, come saw, and then he doesn't play any hockey games because he got injured again. And now here he is, totally healthy, not playing hockey games. Why are the Leafs hell-bent on creating an ordinary player out of a special one?
Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe are known.
These clips are going to be so funny.
Holy fuck. Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe are known for their close relationship, right? They came up, they were with the Sioux, they were with the Marlies, won a championship with the Sioux, ran a championship with the Marlies. Can we please be serious here for a second, guys? And then
it is.
Obviously they're now GM and coach of the Leafs.
A lot to love.
Is this the first? We know that they've had disagreements. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's been widely reported. They've had dust-ups, kerfuffles. But is this the first visibly intractable disagreement that the two of them have had? Because unless Sheldon Keefe has changed his process, Kyle Dubas has changed his process, which, by the way, he hasn't, because he never will. Kyle Dubas cannot be for this. He cannot be pro this plan the way it's going.
It's his problem.
Okay.
It's his problem. It's Sheldon Keefe's job to win hockey games, and this is the lineup. Listen, I like Nick Robertson. There's a camp that says he should be in the lineup. There's a camp that says I think he might be good one day, but he shouldn't be in the lineup right now. Both of them have very good points. I think both camps can agree on he should be playing hockey games. It's not Sheldon Keefe's job. You know, there are a lot of things to not like about Mike Babcock, but every night he made the roster that he thought could win the Leafs a game that night.
Until Dubas was GM, and then he made the roster that he thought would piss
intentionally
off Dubas.
Worse out of spite.
Yes.
Literally point shaving.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
Yeah, but he wanted to hold Josh Levo hostage, but at the end of the day, that was a head-to-head with Dubas and Babcock was wielding the power that he had, which was over the lineup card. And, if you don't like it, then send the guy down. Well, I can't send him down, Mike. We'll lose him to waivers. Well, that sounds like a you problem. And I hate to say it, it is. It is a you problem. So Sheldon's job, what Dubas pays him for, what the Leafs pay him for, is go out there and win a hockey game. And Dubas and Keefe goes, you know what? I can do it with Pontus Holmberg, third line center. He's like, we talked about this. I made a laundry list of the third line centers the Leafs have used this year in the LFR last night, and I missed one.
William Nylander.
William Nylander.
Can you list the other ones?
And you were pissed about that.
Yeah, well,
You were pissed when he was the third line center.
It made no sense.
Because it's a goddamn zombie reaching out of the earth. Brains. No, that is dead and buried. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. He is not a center at the NHL level. But William Nylander, Alexander Kerfoot, Pontus Holmberg now, Pierre Engvall,
David Kampf.
David Kampf briefly, Kalle Yarncroke. Like, am I missing any? That's 6
in 18 games. How many games have they played? 18, right?
Yeah, so on average, those guys have played 3 games each,
It's
right?
ridiculous.
At center, because we're 18 games into the season.
Yeah.
We've had 6 different third-line centers. Enough!
Is that good?
That's not even enough runway for one of those 6 guys to even get comfortable. Like, I get you're trying a bunch, but 3 games each isn't enough.
I also don't understand what was wrong with David Kampf at third line center. He was great at it last year.
He essentially is.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that the line that he is on, it always plays better than the third line.
They always list it.
But the other line
but
plays more.
Yeah, no, Aston Reese, Kampf, Malgin is the third line. I don't know why they keep listing it.
We're not really talking about the fourth line, but that was the third line. All those centers tried out for that, but now it's kind of we're talking about the fourth line now. That's a question mark.
Yeah, like Holmberg plays above Kampf. Shut up.
Yeah, no.
Like, no, he doesn't.
No.
But anyway, we're getting away from the point here. It is Keefe's job to go with the lineup that he thinks best gives the Leafs a chance to win. Now, when asked for his reasoning for why he made a roster decision, he changed the subject and gave a shitty answer. But what I have said before in regard to, I think the last time I made this reference was Jim Rutherford's nonsensical interviews recently for the Vancouver Canucks.
Right.
That fucking outfit, bro. Sorry, Rutherford's
I like my
comments.
pajamas. Thank you very much.
They're very, I bet you're comfortable as hell.
I am.
Rutherford's comments with the Canucks. Whenever someone does an interview and they give an answer that makes no sense, it's because they're hiding something. Like, this is not a conversation if Robertson is simply sent down to the minors, like the Leafs are perfectly able to do. Now, I don't know if it's a money thing, like it, because they got to be as close to the cap as possible. Figure it out. There's no situation where it makes sense to have Nick Robertson sitting in the press box. Well, we need to make the money. Well, find someone else who has the same money then. Listen, every game Robertson sits in the press box as a healthy scratch is a failure. It's a failure on the organization. It's a failure of development. You can't be trading first-round picks every fucking year. If you're going to draft a guy in the second round, tell us he's basically a first-rounder and then sit him. Well, you can't trade first-round picks every year if the picks you actually make are not developed properly.
And it's interesting when you compare and contrast that with the way Timothy Liljegren and Rasmus Sandin, to a lesser extent, were drafted and developed. Because remember when Timothy came in, people were like, oh man, this guy's trash. He's terrible. Send him back to Sweden.
He only ever got to play as a 7th D.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like what I'm saying is like when they drafted him, they're like, oh, he fell for a reason. They sent him back, or they were like, well, do we send him back? Do we do this? And then it was like, oh, we should just throw that guy in a trade, like get a fourth line center for Timothy Liljegren. And he started to develop, and it took 4.5 years, really.
Yeah, it took a long time.
And now here we are with a top 4 defenseman.
Well, and that's a bit of a habit of Leaf fans right now, myself included, is we overrate guys to the point of underrating them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Liljegren, he should have gone top 5, and he's a bum.
They should.
Overcorrection.
But that's I think it's a perfect example of good Leaf development. That's how, because we were here. Here's the dichotomy of a Leaf fan. If you're not a Leaf fan, you probably don't understand or know the draft history the way we do. But you have to understand that for 20 years, 30 years even, the Leafs would draft, if they had a high pick, with the exception of Wendell Clark, they drafted the wrong guy. Because instead of getting skill, they always wanted to get big. So no offense.
Well, even with Wendell Clark, they drafted a defenseman and were like, "You're a winger now."
That's right. Wendell Clark was a defenseman, and they went with guys like Luke Richardson and Drake Barahowski, who had respectable careers, but those guys were not top 10 picks in those drafts. Right. They traded all their picks with the Niedermeyer pick, the Luongo pick. Like, as in not Rob Niedermeyer, Scott Niedermeyer would have been a Leaf. Roberto Luongo would have been a Leaf. And then when they did start drafting again and started drafting properly, they drafted Freddie Gauthier in the first round. And then we got to the stage where it's like, okay, we've got a brain now. We're going to draft Austin Matthews. We're going to draft Mitch Marner. We're going to draft William Nylander. That's amazing. Oh my God, that's so cool. Those guys snapped to, they're right in the NHL. And Nylander could have been in the NHL a season earlier. Babs said as much, but they were like, no, we're keeping him down.
Marner too.
Marner probably, Marner for sure could have. Yeah. Because they wanted them all to come up together. They wanted their contracts to slide, and really the team was going to be trash anyway. But what we haven't seen as Leaf fans is a lot of the 4 and 5 year development projects. Like, show me another example.
Outside of the goaltending.
Outside of like Reimer, I guess. Reimer and Scrivens.
They've left their goaltending alone for like 4 years at it.
Well, it's because their guys keep getting injured and retiring.
Well, here's the problem with the Leaf salary cap situation. I think they have had a bunch of those guys. They just keep graduating to the NHL and having to trade them all.
You mean like
Zach Hyman?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Zach Hyman, not sort of asterisk because they traded for him. Connor Brown.
Yep.
Andreas Johnsson.
Yep.
Kasperi Kapanen, even though they
developed him though.
They developed, but it took a while.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit of fight. Nazem Kadri was a little bit of fight, although now we're going way back.
Good point. Very good point with Nazem.
But they're all gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Right? I don't know. I think it's relevant to have this conversation. It's a fascinating time to be a Leafs fan because they are, whether you're a pessimist or an optimist, they are exactly what you say they are. Like, where are they in the standings right now? They were 8th when I checked last night, but there were a bunch of late games last night. Okay. Thursdays are busy. Where are the Leafs?
I mean, they're top 3 or top third in the league. They're 8th still.
They are 8th in the National Hockey League. They're also 500.
You keep saying that, but
they're 500.
No, but the NHL counts in points.
Yeah,
so
I know.
They have 22 points.
Well, so this is the conversation that I had with myself last night is, okay, so they're shit at 3-on-3. We keep talking about the team in the context of playoff hockey. There is no 3-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go back in time and pretend there's ties, those are ties.
I have to ask.
Fine.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I have to ask a question because what I looked at was winning percentage.
Winning percentage.
And
50%.
Well,
6-11.
6-11. And I see them at
what?
Yeah, they're 6-11. So this is what I don't understand, guys.
No, they aren't.
I know, but this is what I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because check it out.
They've won half their games.
Just let me.
Sorry, no.
Islanders 11-7-0, 22 points. Leafs 9-5-4, 22 points. How is the Leafs winning percentage with 2 less wins in the same amount of games the same as the Islanders?
Are you sure it's win percentage or points percentage?
Oh, that's points percentage.
Oh my God. I was about to
win percentage is different.
I was about to throw that computer out the window.
Fair enough. In wins in the league, they are, I believe they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12th in the league in wins.
They're middle of the pack.
They are middle of the pack.
They're right. They're mediocre right now. Would they be better if overtime was 5-on-5? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they didn't look like the better team
should be better if it's
5-on-5 last
3-on-3.
night, did they?
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
The Devils kind of ran the show most of the show. And I want to ask about that because the Devils are the second best team in the league right now, at least standings wise. Boston's number 1.
Oh, I like Vegas.
You like Vegas?
I'd have it Boston, Vegas, New Jersey if I'm power ranking.
No,
I think we can all agree that's the top 3.
Yeah, in whatever order you want.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't believe that you're saying that with me sitting here. But anyway,
that conversation we had last episode about the Capitals goaltending got more relevant. Vanacek was great.
He was.
Yep. Man.
100%.
You had, if Samsonov had been healthy, it would have been both Caps goalies going head to head against each other. It would have been sick.
Damn it, that would have been great.
And I do want to talk about Matt Murray. What do you like about New Jersey, though? Like, what did you see last night? You're like, this is why this team's winning.
Speed kills. Speed absolutely kills. Now, there were moments last night. Matthews laying a big hit. There were a couple decent collisions in the corner, decent collisions in the neutral zone. That might have been the first game of the season where I was like, I think the Leafs are the toughest team in this game. Right? So I could see that being a big problem for New Jersey down the line. But right now, regular season, 82 games, speed kills. That's one of the fastest teams in the league. And part of the reason is it's not just their skating, it's the way they move the puck. they're doing what the Leafs are struggling to do so far this season. The way their D are able to move the puck up the ice, and the way their forwards are able to receive it. They can go north-south. They can go east-west. They can do whatever they want. Their hands keep up with their feet, which not every team has. You're like, oh, they have speed. Why isn't this working? Because their hands can't keep up with their feet. The Devils are playing a style of hockey that I wouldn't have said was Lindy Ruff's bread and butter.
I'm just going to
100%.
The Buffalo and Dallas teams he coached are not Lindy Ruff. This is not Lindy Ruff.
This team is so much fun, and like you said, they're very fast. And Keefe, before the game, I think said one of the things that I was watching. I was like, oh yes, this is very true. He said their top 4 scorers play on 4 different lines. And you watch the Devils team, and when they're running their lines, it's everyone. It's every single one of their lines has this incredible amount of speed and has a threat to score. And they're a lot of fun right now, and it's not Lindy Ruff hockey.
The Leafs are incapable of doing that.
Yeah, they can't compete with that.
They can't compete with that because of their structure. So again, is like we don't need to make a conflict or a rift here. But I think Sheldon Keefe is basically through the media coming to the same conclusion that a lot of Leaf fans have.
They need a scoring winger.
Well, either they need a scoring winger or this mix just doesn't work.
Why wouldn't he make the adjustments if you can't run 4 lines like the way you'd like to? Why wouldn't you just overplay the top 2 and use your 3-4s as checking? And play them this little bit of minutes, I
don't really think the Leafs are built to do that. Like, what?
I want to read something.
They're not really.
You can't really overwork them.
One of those lines is a checking line.
Yeah.
What, Holmberg's like your shutdown guy now? Like, what the?
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to throw this at you because it reinforces you talk about the Devils scoring throughout the lineup and how the Leafs just don't seem to have it. Alex Kerfoot has 1 goal in 18 games. This is a Kevin Papetti tweet, which is always good.
Yeah, man.
You should have your notifications on when that guy tweets because it's always smart. And it was a power play goal. He's got 1 goal in 18 games, and it was on the power play. His 5v5 shooting percentage won't be 0 forever, but he didn't have a shot on goal last night while playing with Marner and Tavares. Given that he's making $3.5 million, the Leafs need more out of him offensively. And as a Leaf fan, you might be like, well, it's time to trade him. Who's going to take a guy with 1 goal in 18 games who makes 3.5? And for what? What are you going to get?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm kind of looking at his career numbers. Like,
he's a 15-goal guy.
He's a pretty consistent producer. Now, the unfortunate thing is his best goal-scoring season was his first one, and he's never gotten back there. He had 19 goals as a rookie in 79 games. He's a perennial half a point a game guy, maybe a little less. And right now, he's at a point every 3 games.
I think the tantalizing thing with him is that he's capable of more with the skill set that he has.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I wondered, so the skill might be there, but as we saw in the game versus, where did he have a clean look at the net and a full breakaway and pass it to
Penguins? It was the
Penguins, that's right.
Yeah, the game that they won.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing that, I talked about confidence last episode with Kerfoot and Hall. I also wonder, too, if it's just hockey sense sometimes.
I don't know. Well, last night I had a conversation with myself again, as I do. His job on whatever line he's on.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's in the top 6 and he's with Matthews and Marner, or Matthews and Nylander, and Tavares and Marner, or Tavares and Nylander, he does the not glorious stuff. He's back checking. He's forechecking.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the corners. He's crashing the net. He's trying to make plays. He did have a Daryl Boyce assist the other night, I think, where you screen the goalie but don't touch the puck. I love a good Daryl Boyce assist. And I was like, you know what? He has a tough job, and it's very thankless. And then I was like, well, Hyman did that,
mm-hmm.
and Connor Brown did that,
mm-hmm.
and Andreas Janssen did that. Kasperi Kapanen never really did that, and that's part of the reason they traded him.
And why he's getting scratched now in Pittsburgh.
Bunting's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Mikheyev did that. Guys have done that over the years, and they've all been better than this. And most of them made less. And yeah, there's inflation, so I'm talking about with the salary cap. I also life, but I'm talking about with the salary cap and salaries and stuff. we go right back to the conversation we were having in the summer. They can't afford this player.
Well, and I wondered about this, and we've talked about this before, that we were like, wow, Bunting was a really great replacement for Hyman, and he was last year. He was great.
He's heating up,
and I'm not taking away from Bunting.
Yeah.
But if you could do it again, would you not just bite the bullet and pay Zach Hyman?
Yeah.
And drop Alex Kerfoot?
Hyman's in a class of his own. Especially with what he's doing
right?
in Edmonton now. We know, that's a really good player, and we're missing that from this lineup.
I don't know if we, like Leaf fans who love Kerfoot, I don't there's this sentiment coming out of Edmonton that Leaf fans were happy he was gone. And
never.
Yeah, and that's made up.
No.
Demonstrably
No,
false.
I think we all miss Zach Hyman. He was awesome.
No, he was, one of the most universally beloved Leafs over the course of his time with the Leafs.
Seems like a good guy, too.
Yes, it's dumb.
The rumor was that the Leafs could have had him for less than the $5.5 million per year that the Edmonton Oilers gave him because they had that extra year. They could have given him a full $8. And so they could have brought the average down. So let's say the average is now $5 million a year. So you need to drop Kerfoot, and you would have found a willing taker, and $1.5 million.
Yeah, man. Like it again.
And you could have found Bunting still. Like Bunting would still be here. Kampf would still be here. They'd all still be here.
It all comes back to they don't have the scratch for this.
Like they could have traded Kerfoot and not signed Joe Thornton.
You know what? I'll say it. And this is my favorite Leaf as a guy. My favorite Leaf as a guy. Morgan Rielly's not playing like a $7.5 million player. And we are having far too many conversations in Leafs Nation about Kerfoot is not playing up to his salary, and they need to find a better option than Justin Hall. And Rasmus Sandin isn't playing very well. Dude, their best defenseman makes $7.5 million, and he's kind of a liability.
I 100% disagree.
No?
I think he's number 2 after Brody in terms of importance.
Oh, so you agree then?
Yeah, so you agree.
That means you agree.
What do you mean?
That he's not. So he's makes $7.5 million, and you're saying he's not even the best.
No, he's worth that money.
Yeah?
Yeah. Morgan Rielly makes $7 million on any team in the league.
Oh, no. I'm not saying, listen, at the rate contracts we're going, it's still, by market value, a discounted rate.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with the contract he signed. I have a problem with how he's playing under the contract.
I think
it's not good enough.
I think Morgan Rielly has been one of the most dependable pieces of the entire organization for his entire tenure as a Leaf.
And he's a dependable brain.
This year. I agree, Jesse.
Through 18 games, he hasn't been perfect, but I don't think I think you're going a little far by saying he's not worth his contract.
I didn't say he's not worth his contract. He's not playing up to it, which is fair
for a couple games, a
month and a half, Jesse.
A dozen games. Morgan Rielly has not been worth $7 million.
But that's 20% of the season.
Yeah, man.
Like 18 games in, that's 20.
I don't think he's been. He hasn't. I don't think he's been shaky the entire season either.
No, I don't have a dog in this fight, by the way.
I think Morgan Rielly has been okay.
The 7.5 is not okay.
I'm saying he's been okay by that $7.5 million standard.
Need more.
That's not the reason.
I think TJ Brody outplays his contract.
100%. I
think he's way more.
All year.
I'm not trying to pin one versus the other.
Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
I'm not even a Leaf fan, so fuck him anyway.
I mean, if we could get Liljegren in the lineup, and then you have a right side of Brody, Liljegren, Hall, and all of a sudden it's Brody playing with Rielly, and I think then we all have a Merry Christmas, and Rielly probably looks better.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. However, I just don't think it's been there.
We're
all looking at these spare parts in the lineup. Dude, again, people always ask me, they're like, who's your favorite Leaf? Morgan Rielly. As a guy, Morgan Rielly. He's my favorite guy to talk to.
No one's saying you hate him as a person.
You hate Morgan Rielly.
No, I know.
As a guy.
No, but I always brace for it when I have to criticize a Leaf that
you love.
Don't always give it to.
Yes.
Like I had to, brace for it. Like, dude, the whole Hyman family watched my shit, and there were a couple games where, and it was rare because he's a very dependable player, but there were a couple games where he wore the goat horns, and I'm like, okay, well, got to slap him.
And by the way, you goat horns, he means bad. Goat to most people means good, but goat horns are sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the horns.
Yeah.
Green horns, bad.
Yeah.
My
Goat
thing
is the new sick.
My
Yeah.
thing with the Morgan criticism, if you want to call it that, is we're okay. We're trying to solve some problems with the Leafs here so they can be effective throughout the regular season and in the playoffs here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the issue to getting to our end goal here. I think we gotta figure out the forward group in the left wing first.
I
We gotta
agree.
figure out the rest of the defense around Morgan and Brody, and like that's it. And Liljegren, I guess. You know, we got other problems to solve, and that's a piece right there. Maybe if you like, we're not upgrading that. That's there. That's steady. He's gonna play a little better. He's gonna be Morgan because that's what he's been for 8 years as a Toronto Maple Leaf. More than
I
that,
think
probably longer
Yeah.
than that. That's
Drafted 10 years ago.
That's an okay. Leave that in the corner for now. We have other issues to fix first. You need wheels on your car before you need to fix the tail light.
Wow. It's just whenever Matthews goes down with an injury, we talk about Mitch Marner needs to step it up. And vice versa. Marner goes down. All right, Matthews got to step it up. This is a big opportunity for Willie. The Leafs have all these injuries on D, and we're like, all right, here's Rasmus Sandin's opportunity. Here's brand new, coming off of injury, Liljegren. All right, let's see what he's made of. Can Justin Hall survive these minutes? Bro, Morgan fucking Riley. We were talking about this guy in the context of Team Canada back when the NHL had any interest in being successful on the international stage, which we now know they don't. But we were talking about him potentially representing this country that we like to boast is the best one at hockey. And like, we have the conversation of who the best defenders are in the NHL. And we go through Cale Makar and, Adam Fox and Victor Hedman. And okay, how far down that list do we get till we get to this season's Morgan Riley?
Oh, I think not. I mean, not to take away from your point, but I think his salary sort of reflects that, wouldn't you say?
Well, Adam,
Because that's
not a bad point.
The best defensemen in the league are making more than he is.
They make double digits.
Even Cale Makar, who was a restricted free agent, makes more than he does.
Yeah,
And Morgan gave up all his UFA years.
he did.
So
Listen, all I'm asking for is more. I'm not asking for a trade.
you want Morgan,
Hey,
right?
you see,
So here,
Oh,
I
dear.
want to point to something.
if you weren't wearing a booty suit, that would definitely be the name of the episode.
You want to know where Morgan Riley is amongst highest paid defensemen? This is defensemen in the NHL sorted by contract. Morgan
guess.
Riley is...
Is this
take a
cap hit?
guess?
Cap hit or salary?
Cap hit.
30 if.
I think he's top 20 cap hit. No, 25.
No,
25,
30th is
25.
Pretty. Yeah, I'm going to agree with 25.
What's
25.
Me too.
Adam, what's
25.
He's 23rd in the league, sandwiched between at 22, also at 7.5. Aaron Ekblad at 24 at 7 million. John Klingberg. That's about right.
I'll take Morgan Riley over Aaron Ekblad, who is always injured, and John Klingberg, who has a lot of holes in his game too.
Yep.
And there's
I
there's
agree.
a whole bunch of names you'd probably take Morgan Riley over that are higher, that are 1 through 22 on that list.
All I'm saying is you got to.
Maybe versus the contract is the wrong way to go about it. Maybe what you're saying is you've seen him play better and you want more.
Yes. So when he was playing with a busted ankle,
That's fair.
I defended him.
Oh, yeah.
But Connor McDavid did the Leafs organization a favor. Morgan Riley was playing injured. McDavid sent him to the fucking Shadow Realm, and then we didn't see Riley for another month because it was very obvious. Okay, this guy can barely turn.
Yep.
Like, let's have him sit for a little while. COVID happened, and then you know what? He played pretty well. He's played pretty well since. A healthy Morgan Riley is at least a $7.5 million player. He's got to be better.
Okay, let me run something by you. And this is where I think Leaf fans need to move forward a little bit. The Leafs defense is pretty good.
Don't leave David hanging for too long.
I know. We got to get to David. I'll leave you on the last thing. The Devils are amazing. Worship at the altar. But the Leafs defense is actually pretty good. The issue this year, I would argue, is goal differential. And it's not because the Leafs are allowing a ton of goals. They've had really good goaltending. And I want to shout out Matt Murray. He was very good last night.
Yes.
He's very, very good.
Not worried.
You're not worried about Matt Murray if he's playing like that. It's awesome. Just hope he stays healthy.
Yep.
My issue.
I worry about his injury status when he's throwing sticks at
Yes.
people.
Every
at the
time.
puck.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
fair.
You know, when he's lunging
Every
at
time
it.
he goes side to side, I go,
Yeah.
whoop. And everyone turns into a body language expert. Like the second he makes a save, you go, what? You good? You good? He's good.
Of the top 16 teams by points in the NHL, the Leafs are among the bottom 5 in goal differential. And I want to give you an idea of where they're at compared to last year. Last year, they finished, I believe it was 5th in goal differential in the league. I believe they were a plus 62. Damn. And of course, my NHL is not, there it is. Here we go. NHL.com, a little slow. So they finished with a plus 62. They were 6th, excuse me. If you were to extrapolate that, and the Leafs are about 21% of the way through the year at 18 games. That's the number. So if you take it at 20, where the Leafs should be if they want to hit a plus 62 again is a plus 12 right now. They should be at plus 12 this far into the season. Man. Currently, they're at plus 4. So they are 30% in terms of goal differential where they should be. Now, a streak can change that. I get all that. But the problem very clearly is that this team is not scoring at the rate that it used to. And they're going to need, I think we stopped talking about defense. I heard 32 Thoughts talking about John Klingberg again. It doesn't make sense. John Klingberg, Jacob Chychrun, who's had half of his body operated on at 24 years old. Guys, they need a threat up front.
Jacob Chychrun is a rumor. So
Klingberg and I saw that. I saw some guys in Vancouver were like, what would the Leafs have to give up for Tyler Myers? The Leafs don't want Tyler Myers. I watch Tyler Myers play hockey. He doesn't do anything.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said rumor. He's an urban legend.
Who's that?
Chychrun.
Everybody's waiting for him to play. He's coming back. I think they said in the next couple games.
Yeah, you're using your friggin' imagination.
And then he's going to have to play till February till we know if he can play.
Yes.
Right.
So what I'm saying is this. Forget the defense, goaltendings, they've survived it. Even with Shalgren, they survived it. They need scoring punch up front, and it's got to happen within the next, I would say, 20 games. They got to make it happen.
Not to poo-poo on your point before we go.
I will poo-poo on your head.
But
sir,
goal differential also works the other way, where you could just be outscored and your goal differential goes down.
I know, but their goaltending's been good. That's my point. Their goaltending's been better than it was last year.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
So that's my point, right? Like we had Jack Campbell and who was a goaltender last year other than Jack Campbell?
What are we talking about?
The Leafs last year.
Who the fuck was the Leafs backup?
The guy who started in the playoffs.
Oh my God! Why
Jack Campbell?
Why can't I think of this? Why can't I think of...
Why am I
blanking on the Leafs goaltender last year? Do you know
it was Shalgren by the end of it?
Yeah,
because it was the run up to the playoffs and Campbell was out. Who was the other goalie?
And
was it Hutch?
No.
Oh, Mrazek!
Oh.
Peter, does that not perfectly illustrate how much of a blip on the radar he was as a Leaf?
But it's such an improvement this year. This is why the goal differential is a problem.
I completely fucking forgot that guy was a Leaf.
At the end of the year, it was because Campbell was out, right?
No, Mrazek was hurt.
Yeah. Remember the stretch?
Yeah, it was Shalgren.
It was Shalgren?
It was Shalgren.
Yeah.
He was 8-4-1.
Right.
That's wild.
I'm trying to think of like that March period where Campbell was out.
Sorry,
right?
the Leafs are. I want to say the Leafs are a +3, not a +4. I misquoted.
+3. Now, if you take into account that 3-on-3 is imaginary, then you take away those 4 overtime goals as the difference, and they're +7. It's still meh.
They are 18th in the league in goals for, guys. This is my point. They can't be. You got to figure this out.
They're middle of the pack.
I know, but with the team scoring the way it should be, that should be their strength. What I'm trying to illustrate is if you're targeting anybody via trade, if you're listening to any rumor on NHLTradeRumors.co.uk, I don't care where you get it from. It should anything. If the Leafs are smart, and they are, they're going after a forward, guys. That's what's happening.
You want them to get a left winger.
They need a left winger.
You're seeing
JT Miller, man.
Yeah, like
you watch.
We're talking about
Dear God.
Oh fuck.
Hey, their defense is good enough to compensate. Who cares? He played great in Tampa.
The one thing about the Leafs offense is that they can't run with people. They're not a particularly fast team, and that's been very evident when they play fast teams.
When did that happen?
When you go up and down the ice. Have you noticed that? Especially
they used to be fast.
Whenever they're breaking out of the zone, the other team can just kind of get ahead. There's an opportunity anytime a quick team is playing the Leafs to get a couple really good breakouts, and it's weird.
So, okay, their speed is middle of the pack. Their goal scoring is middle of the pack. Their defending is middle of the pack, which is an upgrade. Their goaltending is roughly middle of the pack. what is their identity? Their
I would
toughness
say-
is not middle of the pack.
Some of the goal scoring is dependent on Austin Matthews and the fact that he hasn't been at a 60 goal pace. Because if you remember last November, because he started the same way he started this year, and then November is where he just went on a tear. And a lot of that would be helped if we had a 50-goal Austin Matthews right now, but we don't really have that.
There have been 3 60-goal seasons in Austin Matthews' lifetime.
Yeah, we're not expecting him to do it again, but we need some more goal scoring from our goal scorers.
I think we're seeing how middle of the pack the team is when they don't have some guy scoring at a legendary pace, like literally a franchise record-setting pace.
Almost goal again.
Yeah, like I asked for LFR questions last night, and a bunch of people are like, "Is Matthews playing hurt? Like, what's going on?" He fucking scored. Yes, it was on the power play again. Like, again, when he's not scoring 2 goals a game, you really see the flaws in the lineup.
He's at a normal pace, and it's not overcompensating for the lack of scoring on the other line, which it did last year when you get 60 goals from one guy.
You flatten a guy, and not for the first time this season. Like, he's playing fine.
Should we get to David?
No.
I'm going to put my clothes on.
All right, fine.
Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportbook presents You Can Bet That with David Bastel. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only.
We're about to embark on the world's greatest sports spectacle. The entire world will be tuned into the 100-and-somethingth Grey Cup. That's right, Grey Cup.
Yes.
Toronto versus Winnipeg. I bet people in Qatar and Ecuador are going to be like, screw this game. I need to be watching the Blue Bombers, right?
Makes sense to me. We're on the same page once again, my friend.
Is that Milt Stiegel on the back of your jersey?
No, this is Tom Clemens, number 2. He's a quarterback the Bombers acquired. And here's something to give you a little bit of an 80s taste there, Jess, because I know you probably weren't even born then.
Nope. I was not.
Seriously, 1984. I'm a very young toddler at the time. Dieter Brock, who was the reigning MVP, gets traded to Hamilton for Tom Clemens, who is a former MVP. So it's almost like they talked about it as being maybe the biggest trade in CFL history at that time, where star franchise quarterback gets traded for star franchise, and this is one of them. So yeah, There you go. A little bit of CFL history.
There
for
you
guys.
go.
I know.
And listen,
Dave's history
will be made, especially if you are going to believe the TSN promos. They don't know. They're a little bit split right now because they're like, we have to promote the Grey Cup, but we also have World Cup, and I don't know what to do about it.
Right.
I haven't seen any of them.
We'll start with the Grey Cup. What are we looking at in terms of point spread, money line, over under, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so the Bombers open up as slight favorites at 4.5 points. That number is actually kicked up to 6. So a lot of money coming in on the Bombers in the early part of the week. We'll see if it gets to 7 by game time. I thought it was going to open around 6.5, 7. So don't be surprised if it's there. And if it's there, the number will stall. So what we'll get there is split money, even on the Argo side, even on the Bomber side, which is exactly what the books want to do. The number is kind of interesting too. 48 points is the total. It's going to be really, really cold in Regina on Sunday. Expected temperatures to be around with the wind chill around -22. So good luck with that.
Unbelievable.
One thing about championship games, I think in any sport and playoff games kind of in general, take the under. The games are always tighter than you think, and the public bets are usually on the over because that's how people want the games to go, and that's what they want to see. They want to see all that action. So it's kind of the smarter thing to just take the under in those situations.
Unless it's the Super Bowl, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan.
Oh,
that was wild. Hey, Dave, we also need to talk about Team Canada. You got a ton of prop bets. We were talking about some of them on Wednesday, actually, too, at Sports Interaction. What do we got for the World Cup?
Yeah, of course, all the regular World Cup bets on every single game, every single total number. But we also have a specialty Canada side of it. So we have about 50 unique props, only Canada related. I know you guys have talked about it in the past. I'll bring up a couple here. So Canada score a goal via penalty. So are they going to get hauled down in the box? Are they going to score? It's a yes-no kind of question. Also, will Canada score in every single game in the group stage? Some tough matchups with Belgium, Croatia, Morocco. That should be some W's there happening. But can they score in every single game? Will they get penalties? Will they have VAR? Will they have? I mean, it's a grocery list, Jess, of props for Canada. I love it. I've dug into a whole pile of them. I don't know about you guys.
I love that penalty shot one. I'm taking the yes on that, and I think that's a fun bet.
Pays a 3, by the way, 3-1. Yep.
Okay.
Not bad.
I think I take Canada to score in every game. I think they can get a goal in every. Belgium's going to be hard. You're going to know right away.
Scoring a goal against Belgium and like losing 4-1 is still an enormous victory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Scoring against Belgium, I think, is huge.
Huge achievement. Huge achievement. So you can check it all out at sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Now, Dave, before we go, if we were to go to Hamilton and see a Ticats game, there's a chant. It's the Oski wee wee Oski Wawa. Come on, Ticats, eat 'em raw. If we were to go to Winnipeg with you and see a Bombers game in Winnipeg, what would we need to know before walking in the stadium? Is there a chant? Is there like a secret handshake? Because Winnipeg's close knit, man. What do we need to know?
Yeah, well, there's always that beer snake that you guys have probably seen on social media where the beer section has the world's longest beer snake. Now, the reason it's that long is because there is a tremendous amount of booze that is drunk during Bomber games.
No.
More so than most.
Shocking.
Do Winnipeggers like to party?
Yeah, they do. They do like to party. And outside of these last couple of years, there's been some lean football years in Winnipeg. So this is kind of nice to see the opposite of it. Not really any kind of cheer, to tell you the honest truth. Just a really good time. The place is always sold out. It's a great facility, as you guys have probably seen on TV and so forth. It's a newer one, but you know what? Just a fun prairie atmosphere that a lot of people really like.
Dude, are we putting a wager on the game? Toronto,
I think we
Toronto
should.
boys versus the Winnipeg
I think
boys?
we should. Now the thing is that both teams are blue, so it's not like we can wear blue or whatever. What should we do here?
Oh boy.
Argos jersey on the line?
Oh man, it means we'd have to buy them.
If the Blue Bombers win, we have to give you our airport.
I don't want the Pearson.
No, you don't want Pearson. You don't.
We'll
Billy
do
Bishop,
all
though.
Jets content on Monday.
All Jets content.
And then if Toronto wins, we do all Leafs content.
That's right. Or no, you have to do all Leafs
which
content.
is very rare.
Look out for an all Jets SDP coming up on Monday. Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Love it, guys. Be well. Have a nice weekend.
This holiday season, I'll be giving thanks to our friends at Manscaped. Everyone loves turkey.
What's he
and
got?
Stuffing, but you'll never, ever go wrong looking like a snack for dessert with the help of Manscaped.
That was good. That was a good one.
They wrote it for me, to be honest with you. The Performance Package 4.0. I've told you about this before, but inside you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear, nose, hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold it all together, just like Manscaped holds you together.
More like 4.0.
Oh, that's not bad.
What are you giving him out of 10 on that?
That's a solid 7
That's
and
a
a half.
solid 7.5. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
All right.
It's good. It's good. Holiday things are usually cheesy, and that was a little holiday cheese.
No hygiene routine, and you don't want to smell like we don't want to smell like cheese, so you can use Manscaped's Refined Body Wash to wash yourself down.
It's quite good.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DANGLE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code DANGLE. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all. It's Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Balls of holly.
Steve, I know you've been looking forward to this.
I have.
The holidays are almost here, and there is plenty of t-shirt cheer from our sponsor, True Classic Tees.
True Classic.
Fellas, we got the perfect gift for you, wish list. True Classic Tees has a gift for you. They're the gift for her, and a great present for any guy in your life. True Classic is on a mission to maximize men's confidence by making them look good. Trust me when I say this is a gift that everybody will appreciate. They'll be looking at you, and they'll be appreciating you. Okay. True Classic has already helped 2 million men look great in their tees, and now you can save big while you do so. Get 25% off True Classic with the exclusive link, trueclassic.com/dangle. And the discount doesn't stop there. You'll save even more with their site-wide sale. Support and show them and check it out, trueclassic.com, promo code dangle.
I'm on the site right now. What does it say at the top?
It says True Classic. Oh,
No, it says your name.
Congratulations. Your discount of 25% off from Steve Dangle will be applied.
Steven Dangle.
Stephen Dangle.
Oh, you're right. It does. Sorry, I don't have my glasses
Also,
on.
the sale's been extended. It's up to 65% off.
Steven, you're on
That
TrueClassic.com.
doesn't even say that on the script. Anyway,
So silly.
get 25% off at trueclassic.com/dangle. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. That's 25% off at trueclassic.com/dangle. Santa won't be the only one slaying thanks to True Classic.
That was quite good.
Again, they wrote that for me. Bruins have won 10 games in a row at home. I had to take the clothes back.
Okay. All right.
It was a little hot wearing all that. Those
get it.
layers.
Let's go, Allmark.
10
Yeah.
games in a row at home, by the way, because the Leafs did break their winning streak.
Hooray.
And they continue. They just continue to be the Bruins. I don't know what else we say. The Bruins are great.
Yep.
Okay, do you want to
Only
talk?
getting better.
We do know today that Scott Wedgwood is okay.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Like we should mention it, but like I don't know. So the thing was, when a team wins like that, there's not much of a story. It's like, wow, they're great. And 5 games ago, we went through all the reasons why they're great, and we've run out of shit to talk about.
They're entering like, what was it, 96 Bulls territory,
Yeah.
where like one up until the Raptors won their championship, like a top 5 most memorable win in franchise history was they were one of like, what was it, 7 teams
To beat the Bruins.
to beat the 96 Bulls.
Yep. And they
Like-
were terrible.
It's only notable if they lose, basically.
Yeah.
I think there's an interesting conversation to have about what the Bruins should do at the deadline, come closer to the deadline, I guess, because they have this first round pick sitting there, right? They don't have a second round pick. And if you truly look at this as the last dance, and this team is incredible, as you said, there's not much to say about the team other than that they're really good.
Yeah.
Do you send a first round pick out to try and help a team that's really good? Or do you hold on to that and you say, hey, next year's the rebuilding year. Let's go get a draft pick. But if the draft pick is 32nd, who cares? Go out and try and win one last one.
Yeah, but
They have nobody. It's one of the thinnest systems.
Oh, yeah, their prospects. That was the
Mitchell Miller.
Yeah, Mitchell Miller.
Yeah.
well,
Why we
and the
should do
first
it.
round pick is even more valuable to the Bruins because they don't have prospects to trade as well. My only concern is like, okay, we're such a wagon. What are we adding to this lineup for?
Yeah.
Like, what if we fuck it up?
Yep.
Now, I doubt that would happen.
You mean bringing something into the locker room could fuck up the culture?
Maybe,
And then cause you to maybe lose your winning streak on a Saturday night in Toronto?
it's possible. It's definitely possible.
You would leave it?
Like, what other picks they got this year?
This year, they don't have the second. They got 3 through 7.
You go for
Yeah.
it. You fucking go for it. This is
can-
it.
Yeah, right?
I think you can,
I don't care if you don't draft. Who cares?
you can add to that lineup without getting rid of the first. Listen, if there's a great trade out there,
But what do they need?
you do it.
So
well, this is the thing, right?
The Bruins cap situation is, I think it's fascinating because of how much they've set up this year to be the last year for everybody. I'm counting Pasta, Foligno, Zaka, Craig Smith, Bergeron, Nosek.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Krejci,
Trent Frederickson, RFA.
Connor Clifton, if you want.
Yeah.
Anton Strawman, Those are all guys who are UFAs.
Swayman being
They
an
have
RFA sucks.
5 guys in their forward group who are signed through next season. 5 forwards. That's it. So I think there's a really interesting decision for Sweeney here. If he really wants to go for it, maybe you even package one of your UFAs and you try and do something to upgrade one of those positions with a pick. And you just get better because this is it. Go for a Stanley Cup. Go for broke.
I just want to know what they think their weakness might be.
That's true.
Like who's going to play where? You go out and you trade this first round pick for a valuable body. Who comes out of the lineup?
Like, at this point, you get depth. Like, you get
Yeah.
a 13th forward.
Well,
Injuries happen.
Knowing them,
Or
it'll be like
goalie.
it'll be like a weird Charlie Coyle trade, and it's like, oh, we traded for Charlie Coyle. That's a nothing deadline move, and he's a dependable third line center forever.
forever. Like, for a long time, and also grew up a Bruins fan, and also I hate these guys.
The San Jose Sharks would listen to offers on Erik Karlsson. Well, duh.
The CJ show was quite good with this show.
What did they say?
They basically, so obviously the Sharks would listen to calls on Erik Karlsson, who has not been worth his contract for quite some time, but he sure looks it right now. And what I have seen people saying is like, yes, it's obvious. Don't listen to anybody. They're just trying to generate whatever. CJ laid it out pretty convincingly that this is a genuine possibility. Now, the Sharks would need to retain.
Like half?
Potentially, but that's a lot of half. Like, how many years does he have left on his deal there, Jesse?
Till 2027, 4 years after this year.
Yeah, dude. Like, you can't retain $5 million bucks for 4 years. That's like you can't retain the Allmark contract.
You might as well have the guy.
Okay, yeah, but you don't hate maybe $3 million, and
you don't like it.
So you don't like it. But think about
for who?
If you retaining $3 million a season. Maybe you can't retain 5 or 5 and a half.
But if you're the other team, are you paying Erik Karlsson $7 million for 3 more years?
I mean,
4 more years?
I think he's worth that now. And if you're trying to win now, which any team acquiring him would be now or next year, Erik Karlsson at $8 million, 8.5, you don't hate that.
4 years.
I know, but you worry about year 3 and 4 later. You do. You have to. Like that's the only way any general manager can look at this.
How's his contract structured?
And you can always trade him away and retain half.
Man,
in terms of actual dollars.
So the remaining, so he's making $12 million this year. The remaining years are 11.5, 11, 9, 7.5.
Yeah,
so
it's still money.
It's still money, but it's way easier to stomach.
No. Not really. It's 11, 11, 9, 7.
I also know that...
No, but retain, though.
We're also seeing that the NHL salary cap could go up this year by like $3 million, so that makes it a little easier. And then, as we said, 25, right before that lockout, it'll go up by like $10 million.
And another way you can offset it is by trading an expensive player at the end of their career who's got 1 year left or something like that.
Erik Karlsson's 32? 33?
32.
32.
Listen, if he can stay healthy, there's a like he has skills even with his diminished skating for a while. I don't even know how his skating is now, but he has skills that are otherworldly.
It's going forward. It's great.
Sure. So pair him with Jordy Ben, who solves all defensive issues. By the way, I'm not saying the Leafs get him. I'm saying that if you have a team that can't get the puck up on offense, has issues with the transition game, Erik Karlsson's your guy.
If I'm another team, I worry that I'm overrating a very hot start to the season.
An absurd.
But even if he regresses a little,
he's having the start that we all thought Cale Makar was going to have. Like,
or Adam Fox.
28 points in 19 games with 11 goals.
What if we get to 60 games in and Erik Karlsson is Erik Karlsson of last year?
He still had 35 points in 50 games with 10 goals.
He did, but he couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't stay in the lineup.
No, but it would need to be a complicated deal, and it's not one where the Sharks are going to get an abundance of assets. Let's be honest. Like we're you
got to trade for the cap space so you can.
We're looking for somebody to take this off our hands, kind of deal.
Another thing CJ alluded to was like a potential Jonathan Taves trade at the deadline, a Patrick Kane trade at the deadline.
Toronto.
He did allude to that. This is not that. This is a guy with an even higher cap hit than those guys, like significantly higher, for more years with, frankly, more injury questions than either of those guys either. Maybe not Taves. The Sharks aren't going to get anything.
I agree, but I think the Sharks do have to make this move, and they do have to retain, and they have to figure out what that number is, because you're not going to be able to move Marc-Edouard Vlasic. That contract goes on forever, and he's already he's beyond a point where retaining him at 50% would make sense for a team. It's not because he's not an NHL player. It's because he makes way too damn much, and it goes on for too long.
That one and
$7 million for 3 more seasons after the season.
Like you can't.
And what's his contract?
How old is he too?
Older.
35.
He's 30. So he's 35. Even if you get him at $3.5 million, you just don't know.
Here, how much money does he have left? Because I think if it's not that high amount, I think he's going to get LTIR.
7.25.
Oh man, that contract
7 and
stinks.
5.
Yeah, it doesn't even go down until the last year, really. Oh boy, that contract stinks.
Mm-hmm. That's a good case. You make a good point about LTIR. Just to take it off the cap books at least.
Well, he's not retiring.
No, never. because
No.
then he's giving up tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, so that was the whole reason that we kind of had a lockout in 2013,
Yep.
or part of it anyway, is teams were like, all right, we're going to give you 4 years at the end of your contract where you make $1 million, wink, wink, and you'll just retire.
Yeah.
No. Like, that's impossible now.
Do you remember when Chris Pronger was the Department of Player Safety guy and he was still being paid an NHL contract because
Yes.
it was still going?
Yes.
And he was like, "You're suspended. Also, I'm technically a player."
Yes.
Like,
That was fucking stupid.
you know how many
Way
guys...
stupid.
But everybody, let's keep the hard cap.
Yep.
That's the one rule we need to follow.
Alan? Hello? Alan?
Stop it. I did that before, Alan. Okay.
Did you borrow this outfit from Alan?
I did not borrow this outfit from Alan.
You know what I love?
Alan is a fan of no team. He's a fan of players.
How many Devils clients does he have?
That's a good question. I know he's got. Yeah.
Okay, are there Czech players on the Devils? You got it. Anyone who's watched this episode from the beginning is going to get it. Anyone who's only watching a clip is going to be like, "What the fuck is Adam wearing?"
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Do you need me to stand up and pose again?
No.
I don't know if we need that every.
He doesn't have any Devils clients right now.
There you go.
There you go.
So he doesn't like the Devils.
That's
He
that's
roots
right.
against the Devils.
Wow, can you believe that? Terrible.
No.
Last thing, thought you guys would find this interesting. We were talking about FTX, which is the crypto exchange that imploded. And there's a whole bunch of, it's so complicated and convoluted, this story. And then and then on top of that, there's a whole bunch of people. They were staying at a hotel in Bahamas working on this exchange. They were all sleeping together, writing blogs about it, and also running an exchange worth $32 billion and sponsoring Formula One teams and stadiums and everything else.
Definitely.
I just thought you'd find it interesting that the former owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan, says it is writing down its $95 million investment in FTX cryptocurrency as a loss, as a zero.
What?
So the pension plan, which used to own the Leafs along with the group that Larry Tannenbaum heads, before Rogers and Bell bought it from them, put $95 into it.
Million.
95 million, excuse me.
They wish.
They started in October last year. 75 million last year, followed by another 20 million in January.
They lost $95 million in 13 months.
Yeah, the investments were made through the Teachers Venture Growth in a move to gain exposure in an emerging era of the financial technology sector. The Ontario Teachers Pension Plan says the investment represented less than 0.05% of its total net assets.
What?
So I read this statement the other day when it came out, and I was like, oh, it doesn't matter to them.
Well, because they're worth like $2 billion.
Yeah,
Excuse me while I call up my wife and ask why I
thought-
still have to work.
I freaked out when I saw the headline, and I was like, I have to read about the fucking Teachers Fund. Are they going under because they put in too much money? And they don't really care because
Wow.
it's not a lot of money to them.
That's a rounding
It's
error.
fascinating.
Wow.
They're like, we could probably we're gonna benefit a little by the tax write-off if it's a loss. I don't know how they're gonna look at it, but 95's not anything.
No, they're worth billions.
Yeah,
I just thought it's because the numbers are so crazy. You're like $100 million, and they're like, yeah, it's worth 0.05%.
Yeah,
not
SL.
not 5%, not 0.5%, 0.5%.
It didn't matter.
No, it's Adam and Jesse. We're recording
Maybe
the show.
they're worth 100
Why
million.
do I still have to work?
Yeah, really.
They lost $20.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
They
fill out
dropped
their
a quarter.
wallet. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought you'd find that interesting.
Wow. Wowzers.
Isn't that interesting?
It sure is.
Anyway,
Well, I was
a couple
like,
sports tie-ins there. That's why I brought it up.
when you said former owner of the Leafs, I was like, where are you going with this?
I don't know.
Who
I don't
did
know.
you think?
The only
There's only
the
been,
name
like,
that
two.
came to mind was Stavros.
Oh, the Stavro family? No,
I was
they're
like-
still rich.
What?
The Stavro family is still rich. And by the way, apparently there's a new Harold Ballard documentary coming out sometime soon.
Oh, I bet it paints him in a positive light.
Well, the tagline of the documentary is he didn't invent greed, he perfected it.
Goddamn.
So he's a beloved figure here in Toronto. Shall we do the press conference?
Sure.
With the bustling holiday season just around the corner, it's a perfect time to plan ahead with Factor, a ready-to-eat meal delivery service. They shop, they prep, they cook, and they deliver to your door so you can enjoy chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals during the holidays, minus the hassle, plus 34 meals per week, including gourmet plus, keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and 36 plus weekly add-ons you'll have plenty of nutritious, flavorful options to choose from. Choosing food. So listen, the holidays are crazy. You might want to look into this. And again, Factor is cheaper than dining out. Plus the money you save goes to holiday fun and some you time too. And you could use that, right?
I like you time.
Do you like you time? What do you do with you time?
It's just play Red Dead.
I'm glad that nothing of Steve's U time has changed since 2018 when it came out.
Nope.
Head to go.factor75.com/SDP60 and use the code SDP60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code SDP60 at go.factor75.com/SDP60 to get 60% off your first box.
60% is a lot of percent.
It's a lot of percent.
It's a lot.
These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for the right team, for your team, faster and for free, which is pretty great. Now, if we were looking for a Steve Dangle, what do we do to find a Steve Dangle?
Type in big weirdo on your search.
So all you have to do is add your job and a purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you are hiring. Okay? No, nothing about what you said.
Oh.
Also, there's simple tools like screening questions. It makes it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills for you. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster and for free. This is great. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/SDP. That's linkedin.com/SDP to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Want to bet? You can do it at Sports Interaction. It's Canada's sportsbook. Every hockey, football, and basketball game at your fingertips. And at the end of the week, World Cup, baby. Ooh, it's going to be fun. Bet pregame, live and play, or one of the many prop bets made for Canadians by Canadians. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now to see all that sports betting has to offer. Go to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Got it.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
I think it's a testament to Netflix that every time something goes wrong or something is bad, people are like, I can't wait for the documentary.
Yeah.
People have been saying it about the about like what's going on with Twitter, but they have perfected the disaster piece.
Yes, they have.
And Harold Ballard. And it is a Netflix series?
No, I don't know that it is.
No.
It's a Canadian doc. It might get picked up by Netflix. It doesn't have, I don't believe it has a streaming partner yet, but it'll get one.
It's
Prime is also working a lot. You're seeing a lot more sports on Amazon Prime. You see the Leafs and the Juventus and the everything else with the NFL Thursday night games. I know that Apple and Amazon are going to compete for rights a lot in the next 10 years.
The thing about Prime is nobody kind of watches Prime.
I like some of the shows on Prime. Or Yellowstone used to be on Prime. I watched that.
Never seen Yellowstone.
It's
What?
It's very America.
Oh, I guess you don't like looking pensively at the sunset.
Yeah.
Have you seen Yellowstone?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like it? Does it
Sometimes.
remind you of
It's
Red
ridiculous.
Dead?
All the time.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous show. But you watch it and you go, there's some drama here. And then there's certain storylines where you're like, I have to skip these people. Like, I've actually skipped.
Wow. That means it's a great show.
Certain storylines are great. Other sides, like Casey Dutton, anything he's in, I'm like, skip.
You don't like
and we're
Casey? That's the Dutton you don't like?
done. Oh, man. Because, remember that time where they're like doing it in the woods and then the wolf comes and he's going to shoot the wolf and she's like, no, not while you make love to me. I was like, I can't.
I
do
know.
it with these two idiots
All
anymore.
the good
I
shows
can't
on
do it.
TV.
Move to the city.
I skip them. I skip good sections of the greatest shows on TV.
Sometimes you got to watch. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad.
I'm just watching Game of Thrones and I'm like, skip.
No, you
skip.
don't skip a moment unless
Exactly.
except for the
You
final
don't,
season. Skip
because
the
you don't skip good shows.
Skip the
Yellowstone's
entire
not
final
good.
season.
Red Dead makes that show better and also makes it worse. Like there was a horse that hurt its leg and they're like, we got to put it down. And I'm like, no, use a horse reviver. They're only $5 from the fence. Use a horse reviver.
How do you get that? How do you go get a horse reviver?
You go to town and you go to the store and you pay $18.99
That's
for
a
a
lot.
horse reviver, and then you inject it, and the horse that just broke its neck and legs gets up fine.
Okay,
the horse that's dead.
It's dead. No, it's almost dead. It's dying.
I have a question.
But you give it the horse reviver and it's fine.
Why don't they just use that in Yellowstone?
Stupid idiots.
Stupid idiots. Hey, I have a question about Red Dead. I haven't played it since 2018 when I got it, and I loved it, but I just never got the chance to finish. And I left a job, I had a kid, started the new job. Like, so many things happened. There was so much going on. The beginning of it is so slow that I don't want to start it again, but I can't pick it up where I am because it's too deep into the game. What do I do?
Do I
just have to bite the bullet?
You have to bite the bullet. So I did the same thing.
Okay.
Where I tried to start it and some things got in the way. But then I was like, okay, do I pick up from where I was and not really understand who the characters are, or do I start from the beginning? There is a YouTube channel that does a lot of Red Dead content that I love. I think his name is Izar. All the best Red Dead content comes out of Australia. I can't explain that.
They can relate. It's still like that over there.
Oh, maybe. A lot of the best content comes out of Australia. I'm obsessed. TikTok, YouTube. Anyway, there's he does the series called Arthur Becomes. So he enables a mod for there's 6 chapters in the game, and he enables a different mod for each chapter. So one is Arthur is the brawler. So all his punches are like 100 times more powerful than they are in the real game. And then there's another one where he's the bug. So he's tiny and shrinks. He just did chapter 5 where Arthur is the survivor, where he can't take any damage or he dies. And he has to start the whole thing over again. So, but basically there's this long swath of the game that he has to repeat every time he dies, and it's unskippable. And he basically goes, "Oh, did you think this was a video game? Did you think this was skippable? This isn't a game. This is cinema."
Right.
And that's the problem with chapter 1 of Red Dead.
It's cinema.
It's cinema. So,
but it does set the game up well.
It sets the game up really well. It makes it very obvious this guy is an asshole. This guy is pretty cool. You're not sure about this guy.
Dutch Vanderlyn.
I'm not sure about that Dutch Vanderlyn.
Sure is charismatic, though.
She's a charismatic leader. And I didn't play the first one. So I didn't know.
Oh, I played the first one.
I didn't know who was a goodie and who was a baddie.
Mm-hmm.
I was genuinely surprised at every twist and turn.
Jesse?
Right, I've had enough.
Okay.
I'm never going to play that game. First question.
Use a horse reviver.
First question. What's your favorite moment from Twitter? Your time on Twitter.
Oh, it's dead now.
Can you give some of your favorite moments? Twitter seems to be dying. One. People are being nostalgic about it.
I got one. Steve can tell this story better. But when the Lee Stempniak story.
Oh man,
it's a burn. So and his brother.
So yeah, Lee Stempniak had a brother. I don't remember his name, but he would defend Lee Stempniak to the death. And I don't even remember the context, but he was going at, I think was it Ryan Lambert?
I think so, probably.
And Lambert said, "Imagine being the Brent Gretzky of the Stempniak family."
I remember that. That's when Twitter was like, that's so intense. That's funny, right?
That's mean.
That's quite mean.
Man, it was just vicious. Like, but like it had built. To be fair to Ryan, it didn't start there. Like
I don't remember. Oh,
like he didn't go nuclear on him right away. It was like building. It was surprised. Like, okay, I'm going to end this.
That was like 9 years ago.
I know,
that
but
was
I remember
a very long.
I remember
time
laughing extremely hard at that.
Yeah,
very, very funny.
That was a good one.
The Pension Plan puppets were absolutely bananas.
Yeah,
back then.
Oh, you could do a whole book on Oilers Twitter.
Oh yeah,
like just
anything Jim Matheson. Like I still don't know if that. I think one of the funniest things, and somebody reminded me of this last night, was Jim Matheson posted he did a fake interview and wrote a fake article.
I saw an interview, not an interview. I saw a video this morning of an Oiler who went to an autograph signing and Leon Draisaitl was there. And he goes, "Leon, I just have a question for you. Why are you so pissy?" And Draisaitl goes, "Not right now, man." Oh God, there's so many good ones. There's a lot of bad ones. Oh man, you're really putting me on the spot. But people are going through them. Someone did like a power rankings, like all-time hockey Twitter tweets.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Who was I think it was an Avalanche writer, said like MMA is legal and challenged someone to like a fist fight.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. There was also I remember Justin Bourne after the Vegas Golden Knights selected their team, and nobody thought they were going to be good, and they turned out to be amazing. And William Karlsson's like just gunning towards 40 goals. And Justin Bourne tweets, I love this. He's like, man, who was the scout in the Blue Jackets organization that let William Karlsson go? What, that guy's got to be fired.
We were all wondering the same thing, and he just tweeted it.
And the scout from the Blue Jackets organization who let him go tweeted him, was like, hey man, fuck you, and then deleted his Twitter account. That was crazy. I remember that. That was awesome.
That was really good.
Awesome stuff.
Who's the one who tweeted about expected goals? And they're like, expected goals by who? It was
expected by whom?
Wait, what? What?
Fuck.
What?
No, they were like, what's all this about expected goals? Expected by whom?
It was when like it was first coming out. Oh my god.
A similar vein, Steve Simmons with
the
has a shot attempt ever led to a goal?
Oh yeah.
He also had a good one with
he has the greatest hits.
what did he call the NHL? It's not the not the
Corsi Hockey
Corsi
League.
Hockey League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That one's actually so good it's bad now, because it's like it's not even that funny anymore. But man, it was funny at the time.
There's a few
my
I'm not even
God.
comfortable mentioning.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the one you're thinking about, the accidental DM.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the one I was thinking.
Oh,
of.
Older
but you know what I'm
guys
talking
who
about.
didn't know how to work it and just was doing porn stuff on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh man, wasn't there somebody that screen grabbed and there was porn on it? Do you remember what happened? Craig, don't. I'm sorry. I love Craig Button. He's such a nice guy.
He got got. It's nothing against him. He got
got. So one day, a guy named Justin tweeted at Justin_2T1, tweeted at Craig Button, at TSN Hockey, at TSN Sports. Lottery Button. Hey Craig, what are your thoughts on Lickma Sack? Lick me sack.
Alan Walsh client Jan Mishak. His last name is spelled Mysak.
Yes.
So they said, what do you think of Lick me sack? And he's an underrated defenseman playing in the Czech junior leagues. Have him going in the 6th round right now. Craig Button replied, and he said, "Don't know, lick me shack." And if you're reading it, it says, "Don't know, lick my sack." That's an all-timer.
By the way, Jan Mishak was at our draft party.
He sure was.
Along with some other Alan Walsh clients. It was crazy. That was crazy.
I sent you an email.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Oh,
Phil
baby.
Kessel at the Olympics. Can't help but feel like there's somewhere I should be right now.
Who I always thought, I don't know if it was kind of corny, or if I just wasn't into it, but Roberto Luongo, was it like James Duthie who runs his Twitter account? Was that the rumor for the longest time?
No, what? I don't remember.
Do you remember that?
No.
Or everybody thought Luongo's account was anonymous. It wasn't him. The Strombone one. Everyone's like, who is that? It couldn't be Luongo. And there's rumors about who it was.
Jamie Benn.
So it was.
Anyways.
So you have found the Stempniak stuff.
Yeah, go through it.
Oh man! So first off, of course, Greg Wyshynski is in the middle of this.
This is January 23rd, 2012. I found the blog post on the Pension Plan
Skinny Fish
of the Stempniak tweet. Adam, if you want to read it, go ahead.
Sure, this isn't Leafs related, but it's too funny not to bring up. Saturday night, Lee Stempniak somehow scored himself a hat trick, and Greg Wyshynski noted this odd feat in the title of his Saturday recap on Puck Daddy, which was on Yahoo at the time. Well, wouldn't you know it, as it caught the ire of Lee Stempniak's boozer brother Jay, the conversation unfolded in Twitter as such. This is what the Pension Plan Puppets blog used to be like. It was wild. Wyshynski, Stempniak somehow tallies a hat trick. Nice backhanded compliment. Searching the internet can't seem to find your career stats, pal. At J Stemp from Greg. Rounded to the nearest 10, how many times have you had to defend your brother's career on the internet? And then keyword there is career at Wyshynski. This is from Jay. Again, I love your blog, bud. Good stuff. Does typing your uneducated opinion on the internet pay the bills? And then Greg responds, Greg was super adult about it too.
Oh, yeah. As always.
I don't think you love our blog, nor do I think we're buds. I can't converse with the disingenuous. And then Jay wrote, took you an hour to come up with that, Wyshynski. About as creative and as insightful as your blog. Keep up the good work, you jock sniffer. And then Greg tweeted back because Greg's not backing down. Like at a certain point, you're like, stop doing this.
Greg and another thing, Wyshynski. Yeah.
Hi, Greg. And then he tweeted at Jay. He's like, for what it's worth, I can now cross getting chirped by Lee Stempniak's never was brother off my bucket list.
Damn.
And then Jay wrote back, you're not allowed to use the term chirped, Wyshynski. It's reserved for people who actually laced him up, not jock sniffer freelance bloggers. And then Ryan Lambert did the Imagine Being Breakgrads gift the Stempniak family.
Fuck.
Man,
That's an all-timer.
Like a tidal wave of just crazy responses there. Hockey Twitter was like creatively vicious in those days, I think.
You know the nostalgia that that Woodstock 99 documentary brought? That's looking at 2013 hockey.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's me looking back at it like, wow, that was a time in the world.
It was crazy.
It certainly was.
It was crazy.
Fuck, I got tears in my eyes.
What's because Berkshire actually tweeted what's your favorite hockey Twitter moment? What's Pooner Man? And, do you guys know what that is? No, someone was
great name.
Ass Mode. Ass Mode, does that ring a bell?
I don't remember Ass Mode.
Okay.
I remember, didn't Jeremy Roenick like challenge Berkshire to a fight?
No. Did he?
A lot of people have done gone out Berkshire.
Again, I am right in my analysis. That was another good JR one.
The guy who ate cat poo.
Oh my God. Yeah. Cat shit guy.
Cat shit guy.
How could we forget about cat shit guy?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That time all of hockey Twitter was catfished by one man from Waterloo.
Oh, the angry Swedish listener. Tell this story. This is a crazy story.
Yeah. So I think I wrote about it in the book, but basically, if you ever hear someone refer to Sophie Merckx, so Sophie Merckx was sort of the main character. Allegedly the former goalie of Team France, and I would always try to look her up and could never find her stats, and which I always found odd. And it turns out I wasn't the only one. They created this network of people. Well, no, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. There was Sophie Merckx. There was, there was someone else who was a swimmer. I can't remember their name. And there were like 6 people, this ecosystem of hockey fans from all around the world who would yell and scream about hockey. And there was angry Swedish listener,
yes,
who was one of them, who listened to our show. They were Swedish and they were angry all the time.
And we had no reason to believe that anybody that would listen to our show would fake their profile. Like we were so small at the time.
Yes.
Or at least we thought we were. We're like, why would anybody fake it?
So I was messaging with the Sophie person and they were telling me to follow the swimmer person because they did a lot of work with kids with disabilities.
Right.
To tug at my heartstrings. And then Remy Connors made a blog post. Basically, I don't know how they figured it out, but they figured out this ecosystem of at least half a dozen people from around the world was one dude named Kyle from Waterloo, and they catfished all of hockey Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I was pissed.
Wow.
I was pissed. We had to. There was some. I was upset. I was pretty upset.
That's wild, man.
Somebody brought up the John Scott for All-Star Game moment. That happened through Twitter, and Wish in our podcast.
We were a bigger part of that than we thought we were. We had this
by accident.
So the funny thing is that we on the podcast, Greg and Jeff hadn't put out their episode yet. We recorded it and said, you should vote for John Scott. Won't this be hilarious? At the same time, Greg and Jeff had the exact same idea. I swear to God, nobody ripped off anybody. I'll give it to them. They were the first.
Yep.
But we said it, and I honestly did not know that they had said it. And then it just took off like a rocket, and he got in.
So I remember that day because I was at CBC, And Merrick comes up behind me, taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, John Scott." I go, "Yeah, you heard the episode?" He goes, "Yeah." "What?" He's like, "Did you hear my episode?" I go, "No." "Did you hear my episode?" "No." And what did you do?" "Oh, we said everyone should vote for John Scott for the All-Star game." And I was like, "Oh, we also did that." And then I logged on to NHL.com and he was 5th. And I went, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
And then he got in and I got it.
You have to understand, too, nobody gave a shit about podcasting back then.
I got in a little bit of trouble.
Did you get in trouble for that?
Yeah, I got in trouble.
I remember interviewing John Scott after that, and I was like, hey, so...
I was on his podcast.
We had him on the show.
Full disclosure.
We surprised
but this
Steve
was
on the
back
show.
when his book had just come out, a little more sensitive at that.
There's I don't know if it was a fake tweet. I think it was a real tweet back in the day.
David Staples'
account tweeting about the urinal in Rogers Place. Fast, efficient, keep your eyes in the sky, do your biz. Sick of hearing about this. It was actually the sink for washing your hands. And that's a sink.
Dude, did he piss in the sink?
I think he pissed in the sink. I think that's the... I don't know if that's real or not, but that is... Are you showing this on screen?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
It is on the screen.
You can put it there. David Staples pissed in the sink. Tweeted about
Was that real? Is he verified? Do we know that?
It was old Twitter before even like verifications.
Oh my god!
know?
So read it one more. Explain it to me one more time because you started laughing.
Those round sinks that you have in high school.
From high school, yeah.
Yeah. So David Staples took a picture of that sink and he tweeted, "The urinal needed to solve lineups at Rogers Place. Fast, efficient, keep your eyes in the sky, do your biz. Sick of hearing about this." So it's
just under here.
he didn't piss in the sink. He tweeted that this would be a perfect urinal for Rogers Place. And that's where the Oilers play. So he thought like, hey, this sink would be perfect for a urinal at Rogers Place.
Man.
But it comes across like he pissed in a sink.
Man, there honestly back then, Twitter was so much fun. You would sit there while the games were happening, and the generational divide was much greater back then because we'd all grown up with like MSN Messenger and some of us ICQ and that sort of thing.
A lot of the main characters on the young side of those debates were like 40 or are 40 now.
Are 40 now, yeah. And so you're in your we were in our mid 20s, and we're just howling at some of the older guys trying to learn how to use this, and it was honestly some of the most spectacular entertainment. When I think about those tweets now, like I remember that Staples tweet, it puts me back in like a warm place of how funny things used to be. It was before everything got serious, man.
And lastly, I found it was Mike Harrington, good guy. Mike Harrington.
He is a good guy.
Yes.
He used to be very grumpy on Twitter. Yeah. I'd be like, Mike, you used to be grumpy, man. He did.
Yeah, and he tweeted.
I would have a drink with Mike Harrington.
Absolutely.
And he tweeted back in February of 2020. It was actually fairly recently. I didn't realize
Did Mike
that.
tweet?
Mike Harrington tweeted, "My favorite is expected goals. Expected by exactly whom?"
The Ottawa writer who wrote an entire article about his own junk because Matt Cook insulted him.
What?
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 I'm laughing at you laughing.
What was his name? Don?
Who tweeted? Matt Cook, you said?
Yeah, no, Matt Cook.
I can find it.
Oh my God.
All right. The subwoofer's blown at this point, man.
Sorry.
Tell us. You gotta tell us.
Matt Cook. Oh man, I think he accused a writer of like having a small
penis
wiener or something.
Yes.
And the writer basically like made the lead of their article about that. Like,
I didn't want to type in penis into my browser, but I can't find it.
That is.
Oh fuck me! I'm crying.
Wow.
I'm actually crying.
How things have changed.
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. We could honestly be here.
You could do a whole show on this. Honestly,
hours.
maybe one of our holiday shows is just hilarious moments from Twitter past.
Oh fuck.
That man. Wow.
There's some really good ones. Man.
The Donk Flibbit
Oh, Mark Dunk and Buzz Flibbit.
That was Acton Fullerman, right?
Fullerman.
Yeah, he invented that.
There's
those
another guy.
guys
Your
on Twitter.
notification should just be on when they tweet.
Oh,
Just follow him. Hilarious.
Someone said the Toronto Maple Leafs not winning a playoff series the entire length of Twitter's existence.
Oh, that hurts.
That's true.
Oh, man.
Andrew Berkshire once tweeting, "Deport Tim Stützle."
what?
And then somebody DM'd him and was like, "I'm going to send this to Sens Twitter if you don't delete it. If you don't apologize." And he said, "Send it."
Sends it is what he should have wrote.
What is even the context?
You don't know.
He probably just
It
dove.
was this year.
Oh, my
It was
God.
recently.
What the fuck?
Deport him. It's so funny because it's such an aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Like, deport him. Andrew, that's a good tweet.
Andrew, that's a fucked up tweet, man.
All right. So, by the way, I just got confirmation from Andrew about whether or not Jeremy Roenick threatened to fight him.
Oh, yeah, Berkshire?
Yeah, he didn't threaten to fight him. His wife did
What did he
say,
say, deport JR?
no, his wife said they were going to sue him a couple years ago. He wanted to fight somebody else, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Threatened to sue him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Anyway.
Deport Tim Stützle.
Yo, you know what's important to remember is that every hilarious bad hockey tweet that you've seen, and we're all guilty, was all written by an adult. Many by people with children.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's funny. So, what?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, should we
I
wrap
don't know
it up?
how to not emote with my face.
Okay, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure, we can. Oh, man. Jeez.
We should put together a top 10 hockey Twitter moments like
top
list.
10, you'd go to jail. We should, top 50.
Top
at least.
50.
At least.
I would love that. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's end the show,
Oh my
Jesse.
God,
Oh,
okay.
jeez.
No.
Let's end the show.
You stuffed your shorts.
Well, stuff
100%.
you. Why don't you come on over?
Oh, settle down. Settle down. Okay. All right. You have a meaty gam.
Jesse, what do you think?
Use promo code DANGLE. You get 20% off and free shipping.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at AdamWYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.